Welcome to my weekly meltdown, the American Horror Story Hotel Breakdown. But before we start, I have a quick, has anyone seen my super glue? My super glue is missing. So if anyone could find it, it'd be great. I have to say, in my opinion, American Horror Story came out swinging with this episode, and the nasty side of my thought process enjoyed every disgusting, nasty, mentally disturbing part of it. I don't care. It actually had a very 80s feel to it. Like, I told someone earlier, I used to stay up late and on Friday nights and watch USA Up all night with Gilbert Gottfried and that chick who I think was in Hustler and a porno star or something. And it reminded me a lot of those kind of retro, kind of dark, kind of horror films they used to show. Now, a lot of people have said this show reminds them of The Shining. I have never actually seen The Shining. Are you done throwing things? Are you done? Now, in my defense, I've actually seen enough of The Shining to, if you put it together as a puzzle piece, it would be the entire film. So there's that. I'm going to try to briefly go over top 5 moments, but we all know how that goes. Number 1, the Swedish models and the man in the mattress. So we've got 2 Swedish models coming in town. They want to go to Universal Studios, and they end up at the Hotel Cortez. They meet Kathy Bates, who's incredibly rude and hates life. She's the concierge, and they get a room. It smells funky in there. They open up the mattress, and some guy pops out of it with a really bad rash, messed up eyes, and he's funky. And they call immediately downstairs to the incredibly rude concierge. Just so you know, if this ever happened to me, and I'm not like whatever, but I would probably just get the fuck out and go elsewhere to call the cops. Just saying. Just saying. Just for future reference, if this happens to you, get out, go elsewhere, call the cops. Sounds good. Good, everyone? Everyone? Okay. So Kathy Bates comes up, lets him out of the room, and puts him in a secret room that they don't rent out to the public. This is a big red flag to me. I mean, you got dead mutants coming out of your mattresses, and then you want to put me in another room. That sounds like no fucking way. But you know what? Shame on those girls. Because they just made the decision to go, okay, I'm going to go in this room. And one of the girls wakes up at 3:26 a.m. There's an alarm that goes off at, 2:26 a.m. And girl number 1 goes in the bathroom and finds girl number 2 laying on the floor in the bathroom. She's got little bitty, itty-bitty, toe-headed blonde vampires sucking on her. So, yeah, you can cry me a river, but that's kind of on you, because instead of getting the fuck out, you decided to stay. So my sympathy meter for this one on a 0 to 10 is 0. 100% 0. And somebody wants... Are you done? Number 2, Gabriel, the druggie, checks in. Oh my God. Somebody is in desperate need of camera time. Everyone, this is FINLEY. Okay? Are we good? Okay, so anyway, number 2 moment. Gabriel, the drug addict, checks into Hotel Cortez. He gets put in room 64 and shoots up heroin, and he gets ass raped by a faceless man wearing a drill bit dildo. Okay, I'm just going to leave the ass raping here because I really... So Sally, Sarah Paulson's character, shows up, and she's kind of like the angel of death, I'm going to go with. And while Gabriel is face down on the mattress getting anally violated by a drill bit faceless dildo man, she tells him repeatedly, say I love you, Sally, say I love you, Sally. Honey, I'd say anything at that point to get this shit out of my asshole, okay? So he says it, and he dies. Or does he? Okay, number 3. We meet the creepiest fuck kid from American Beauty, Wes Bentley, aka Detective John Lowe. Don't lie, you've been trying to figure out where you've seen this fucking guy before, and he has been in more than Freak Show. As Mordrake, the guy with the head with the face on the back, he was the creepy kid from American Beauty. Okay, useless information 101, get used to it. Next. So we find out, to make a long story short, too late, married to a doctor, has a daughter. Obviously, they don't live together. Number 2, they had a young son. He disappeared 5 years earlier at a carnival. Proceed to today. The kid obviously lives in the hotel, hasn't aged a day, possibly could be a little vampire, and enjoys video games and candy all day. Lives in the lap of luxury. What kid doesn't? Okay, so we cut to Detective Lowe investigating a grisly murder scene of this man and woman. Now, the woman is dead, but the man is still alive. They are on a bed. The woman is straddling him, facing him, straddling him. I have to point that out because I didn't want you thinking it was reverse cowgirl. Anyway, so he's facing her, and she's dead, hands are nailed to the headboard, and the guy's eyes have been plucked out, and he has no tongue. And his genitalia has been super glued inside his mistress's vaginal canal. That is as ladylike as I could break that down, because my mother watches this. And I've already been yelled at for saying fuck. So that's it. So when Detective Lowe leaves the super glue dick crime scene, he gets a phone call on his personal cell phone from the murderer, who says, I'm at the Hotel Cortez, I'm in room 64, and I'm gonna do it again. So Cortez V-lines to the hotel, checks out that Liz Taylor, whom I love this guy, walks him to the room, and the crime scene investigating skills are probably one of the biggest pet peeves I have. If you know me and you watch the Gotham breakdown, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Checking shit out half-ass, not wearing gloves, not calling for backup, just winging it, and it's wrong on every level. I don't expect this guy to be CSI, but he went to the GCPD investigative crime scene school. He sat in between Harvey Bullock and James Gordon. Just so you know. Anyway, so Detective Lowe decides to half-ass check the room, neglects to look under the bed. I have so many issues with this. But anyway, he decides, I'm going to lay on the bed and I'm going to close my eyes. And I'm just gonna let what happens, which it becomes in the form of a nap, because that was some heavy-hitting, hard-core crime scene investigating that he just did. I'd need a nap too. So anyway, the alarm goes off next to his bed at 2:26 a.m. like it did earlier for crazy, stupid Swedish blonde. And he wakes up, he sees a form, and it looks like his little boy. He was blonde-headed, and he chases him up and down the hallway, and he doesn't see him again. And trust me, that is not where things stop getting weird. Apparently, he lost the kid at a carnival. He put him on a carousel, turned around to answer a text, and lost the kid. So that's how that happened. Number 4 is my favorite. I should have saved this for last, but I'm going to go ahead and make it my number 4. The Lady Gaga, aka Countess Elizabeth, and Donovan orgy. I hope the music actually kicked in during that. I'm not like having like a mental issue. I was dancing to music, and God, I hope it played. So we meet Countess Elizabeth, who is running Hotel Cortez, and her boyfriend Donovan. They get all gussied up. They go to a cemetery drive-in movie type situation where they're all watching Nosferatu. Well, they park it on a blanket and start making googly eyes at this couple next to them. And all 4 end up back at Hotel Cortez, and they have an orgy. And it's really hot. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of was hot. I mean, I'm not into rolling around blood and killing people during sex. I might get into killing cats. Can I have something that's mine? Or do you have to just take over everything? So anyway, they're having sex. They slit their throats. They're running away. This is distracting me. And he's about to jump into the blinds and really piss me the fuck off. So they are rolling around in the blood of these people. And then they have sex all over it. And I think it's funny because Lady Gaga's like, and you didn't want to go out tonight. And her boyfriend's like, well, it's not going out, it's the cleaning up. And she's all like, well, just call housekeeping. And okay, because, you know, apparently we all know at this point that Sister Girl Maid can get any kind of stains out of the sheets. Blood, urine, or shit, she gets them out. She gets them out real good. There's no stain big enough for her. Okay, to make a long story short, too late, we find out the Countess, she's running the hotel. She sells it in secret, whispery sell, whatever that is, according to the realtor who is from Murder House Season 1. Bet you didn't know that. Okay, to make a long story short, too late, Countess put the hotel up in secret for a whispery sale, whatever the fuck that is, and she sold it to a guy named Will Drake, who shows up with his like 13-year-old son who looks like a little girl, but that's cool. I don't have any problems with that, only that the kid really needs a haircut. And Donovan, the boyfriend, shows Will around the hotel, and Countess shows Lachlan, or whatever. God, can we just name our kids something normal? Can we just go with the Brian, David, Anthony, James, Jimmy, Christopher, something like Jacob, normal? Lachlan? How many weird constipated faces can I make? Probably a lot. Anyway, she takes Lachlan into the secret room and shows her all the little blonde-head little kids that she's collected over the years who do nothing but, again, play video games and eat candy and all that. And Lachlan's like, oh, this is my jam. This is my jam. Ain't that right, Jeff? This is his jam. That's me trying to be... Forget it. Let's just forget that. Number 5, the murder house. So, Detective Lowe takes his daughter out to a dinner to eat sushi and gets a mysterious text from his wife with an address that says, help me, meet me, whatever. So, being the brilliant crime detective that he is, we're going to go ahead and add Father to the Year to that because he takes his poor daughter with him. Leaves her in his car, tells the one policeman, there's one policeman on scene and like a bunch of cop cars, but there's only one cop there that can watch the kid. And he does a piss poor job of it because that little girl gets out of the car, strolls her little ass onto the crime scene and directly into the murder house and immediately comes across the guys hanging all Silence of the Lambs style with their guts hanging out. This kid is a better detective than her father. Just saying. And at the end of the day, Mom's not mad. She doesn't care that Detective Weirdo took his their daughter to this crime scene and is, they're going to be footing therapy bills for life for this. And she doesn't care. She's more concerned with the fact that the son that went missing 5 years ago looks just like Daddy, and Daddy's got to go. So Daddy conveniently moves into living it up at the Hotel California. I'm so sorry, I will not sing again, I promise. Okay, so he moves into Hotel Cortez, conveniently in room 64. I have a theory, but we're going to get to that in a minute. Okay, tidbits. Number 1, the Swedish models are being held in a secret room, being forced to eat nasty-ass protein shakes. One of them got loose because Sally and Iris, a.k.a. Kathy Bates, got in a cat fight, and Sally let one go, Countess slit her throat, and said, "This cannot happen again." Number 2, well, there's a secret room with vampire kids in it. So, no. Number 3, I heard a rumor, and this is kind of spoilery, so cut off now if you don't want to know spoilers. But I did hear that they're basing the show off the 10 Commandments. I don't really know which 10 Commandment. I guess the thou shalt not covet another man's wife came into play tonight. And let me tell you something. I will never cheat on anyone because I don't want anything in or around super glued to my vaginal canal. Just saying. And number 4, my theory. This is Allison's theory. Allison's theory is okay, and last but not least, Allison's theory of American Horror Story. Okay, Allison's theory of what's happening. I believe Detective Weirdo is the killer. I believe that this is him. I mean, he goes back to where all this shit happened in the hotel in room 64. That's like a crazy psycho killer returning to the crime of the scene and jerking off all over it. I mean, that is what's happening right now. This guy, he receives the phone calls and gets this crazy text from his wife. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead on the record now and say that he is it. He's the guy. I'm not saying he's the dildo ass raper. I'm just saying that he could be the killer. He could be the killer. And that's my 2 cents. With that being said, I hope that you go to MySpace. I just said fucking MySpace. Oh God, it's been a long day. I mean, look at it for God's sake. He can't even listen. MySpace. That being said, please go to YouTube and Facebook and subscribe and like My Weekly Meltdown. I'm the only My Weekly Meltdown. And once I learn how to put the quote whatever in the little bubbles, you can just click on them. You can do that instead of going, but please go like my YouTube. God damn it. And subscribe and like. Stop me on Twitter at Summers, SOMMERS 1977 on Twitter. Go to Instagram, Memphis, darling on Instagram. I hope everyone is doing what they were destined to be doing in life. Please be happy. Be happy. And don't be the man in the mattress. Don't do it. Don't be that guy. Be the person that gets the fuck out and calls the police across the street. That's my advice. We hope everyone has a good night, and thank you for watching.